the lights might be a little bit bigger. There might be a little bit more fans in the stands, but the field's still 100 yards long. You still got 11 guys on offense, 11 guys on defense. It's time to play ball.
We ain't taking no L's. I don't care how they feel. We making the moves with it. Now watch how we do this. Cause we kicking it.
Welcome back to Kickin It Wit Killa. Of course, I'm your host, DJ Killa Noise, and today my guest happens to be the senior offensive analyst of University of Delaware. He also had a viral video not too long ago where he was proposing on the football field to Annie Stock, and it was definitely an amazing thing. You definitely need to check it out. Let me introduce to you, he goes by the name of Tyler Ferguson. What's going on, Tyler?
What's going on, man? Happy to be here.
Yes. So you got an exciting year ahead of you, man.
Yeah, a lot going on, that's for sure.
I definitely know that. So before we kind of get into what you have in store for your year, I kind of want you to take us on your football journey. Where did it start from you, and how did you end up where you're at right now?
Yeah, so kind of for me, I played quarterback in high school, Bow Manor, Chesapeake City, Maryland. I coming out of high school, when I got to college at Salisbury University, D3 school, I knew coaching was something I wanted to do. I kind of bounced around between, should I coach baseball? Should I coach football? I'll figure it out. I want to be in the coaching world.
Right.
And, I started coaching football at Bow Manor while I was a student at Salisbury. From there, I had the opportunity to go help call plays at Kent County High School my junior year of college, which would have been 2018.
Okay.
While I was at Kent County, we did pretty well. I got lucky. We had some good players there. In high school, you kind of dealt with the cards that are given you. You're not out there recruiting good players. So, but it was awesome. We had a great time, and I really fell in love with it. And then my senior year of college, I was working at Frog Hollow Golf Course during the summer and winter when school wasn't in session back in Middletown, Delaware. And I bumped into Jared Ambrose, who was the offensive coordinator at the time of the University of Delaware. And I kind of basically told him, "Hey, I'm looking for a job. I'm graduating soon." And he said, "All right, well, here's my card. Here's my information. Hit me up when our season's over. Sounds good." And from there on out, about 2 months later, I was walking into my office to go coach football at the University of Delaware, which is pretty wild. But it was an awesome experience. It's been great. I've been very lucky. That staff that hired me was let go about 3 years ago. And Coach Carty, who's the new head coach now, when he got here, kept me on, which was phenomenal. And it's been an awesome ride.
That's great. So what does senior offensive analyst entail? What exactly are your duties? Like, that's a very that title right there is very prestigious, isn't it? It's very.
Yeah. It's so funny. Everybody.
So what is it that you do?
So basically, I'm in charge of a couple guys on staff that we break down the defense of our opponent that week. So, all the X's and O's, kind of what we see on film, looking for tendencies, stuff like that. I'm kind of the leader of that group.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my main job, is kind of organize the offensive staff, make sure they're all good to go. And then I specialize with the offensive line. I spend 95% of my time in the offensive line world. I'm in their meetings with the offensive line coach. I'm in their individual parts of practice with them. All of my game plan specific stuff goes into the run game and, pass protections for stuff like that. So the senior offensive analyst, there's 4 offensive analysts. I just got the senior title because I'm kind of the top of those guys. I always tell people we all work together. They're not really working for me, but it's been great, man. It's an awesome. But basically, it's a lot of data breakdown, and analytical stuff. Pressure. If they blitz a certain percentage in this look versus this look. So a lot of numbers.
Wow. So a lot of film, a lot of studying and what's going on with the other team, I see.
For sure.
So So seeing that you're obviously dealing with the offensive line, what or who would you say is a standout for you? Like as far as who you have, who you're approaching this year with, is there somebody that kind of pops in your head that's like, okay, this person has uh most improved. This person is a standout to me. I mean, I know that there's probably a lot of people on the team that's definitely doing their thing, but there I feel like there's somebody that probably improved the most during your time there.
Yeah, I mean, specifically in the O line world, we're pretty lucky in that specific position. You usually don't have a lot of the same guys coming back every year because it's five guys. Usually, there's a couple older, there's a couple younger, but we're
Right.
pretty lucky, man. We've had this past year we returned all five of them, and then this coming year we're bringing in four guys who played all together last year. So when
Huh.
it comes to like specific people, I just want to like shout out those guys, man, because they're an awesome group. Finn Bros is a guy who he's number 54. He's a guy who's very versatile, can play a lot of positions.
Mm-hmm.
He's extremely smart, an awesome leader, an even better guy to just be, hang out with, and a great guy to have on your side for sure.
Right.
He's one of them. Amor O'Neal, our big left tackle, another phenomenal guy. One of my favorite players for sure.
Right.
He's shows up ready to work every day, and when it's time to get going, he straps up and gets going. So it's the to shout out two people would be them, man. Those are awesome individuals there.
Yeah, and it seems like you have such a good group there too. I know, like in the introduction, I spoke about the viral video that went out there with the proposal on the football field. I feel like not only did you two meet there at the school, right, but it had to been a very special moment. Just looking at the team, how they rallied around you, it just seems like it's a good, like it supports each other there. It seems like to me.
For sure. I think the cool part about that a lot of people don't know is, when her and I met, I was kind of the very bottom of the totem pole when it comes to the coaching ranks, and
Right.
kind of similar to her in the AT world. She was still an athletic trainer, but now she's the head AT. So
Nice.
um, to kind of watch, from the players' perspective, they kind of saw us come together, and then we kind of grow up and kind of climb the ranks together, and to do that in front of them. She's from Chicago. She don't have any family here, man. So like, this team's all she got, and we had a great time. What I envisioned of doing it in front of the team, I had no expectations of it being, on every national news network and everything like that. It was crazy. But
Right.
watching it back and seeing the players, like I know that those guys, they really love us, they really care about us, they're happy for us, and it's awesome. It's an awesome thing to be a part of. Those guys, they'll pick up the phone when you need them, and they'll
Right.
call us when they need us. So
That's awesome for you guys to have each other's back like that. So let's move on because this year you have moved up to the FBS,
mhm.
right? Um, how do you feel that affects University of Delaware in general?
um, I mean, it's exciting, man. It's an exciting time to be a part of this university for sure. I believe they're doing it the right way. When it comes to uh, advertising it, getting our name out there.
Hmm.
It's an awesome time to be at the University of Delaware. I don't know if you saw, but the NCAA football game 26, whatever they came out, and we're in
Uh-huh.
that, and they're
Yeah, I
throwing
did
out
see that.
ads like they just posted this thing that said go. If you win the national championship with Delaware and send us your video of it, you entered a raffle, you can get tickets to a game. Like they're selling it, man, and it's an awesome time. Like it's sweet, man. It's a lot of fun. Everybody's kind of back in the football team. It's exciting, and there's on the flip side of that, there is some unknown. You don't really know what it's going to look like. You don't really know what those
Right.
opponents. The difference between the G5 and where we were in the CAA, like you can watch the film, but you're not 100% sure on like okay, well, what is the difference? So there's still a little bit of that, and
Right.
obviously, us as coaches watching the film, we're going to have some sort of understanding, and we do, and it's we think we can fit right in, with that league and be successful in that league from the jump. So it should be exciting for sure. It's definitely a great time to be at the University of Delaware.
Yes, yes. So what conference are you guys going to be in?
Conference USA.
Conference USA. So being behind the scenes, being the senior offensive analyst, how do you prepare? Like, how do you prepare for this with it coming out?
You know, it's funny. People say like, "Oh, bigger teams, bigger opponents." What we do doesn't change. Whether we're
Right.
rolling out to go play Dell State week 1 at home or if it's week 2 when we go out to play Coach Prime in Colorado, what we do doesn't change. We're going to wake up on Sunday, we're going to watch the film, we're going to create a
Hmm.
game plan, and we're going to go to work Monday through Thursday. And then, Friday's like a walkthrough for us, and then our travel day, depending on where we go. But
Right.
then, you wake up on Saturday, it's time to get to work, man. So that doesn't change at all for us. The lights might be a little bit bigger. There might be a little bit more fans in the stands, but the field's still 100 yards long. You still got 11 guys on offense, 11 guys on defense. It's time to play ball.
There you go. There you go. So you go into the league this year. The year is over. What do you expect to achieve by the end of the year? Like, what kind of mark do you plan on leaving?
Yeah. I mean, for me personally, it's go out and succeed. You've seen it happen before. Like the teams before us that have come from the FCS to the power to the FBS ranks. James Madison, for instance. They went on. They won. 10, 11 games.
Hmm.
Another example was App State, which is dated back a little bit, but same situation. They made that transfer and they won games. So, the mark for us is, go out and execute what we put our game plan. And if you go out and execute the game plan, what we do as coaches is going to be good enough to go win games. And, you know, I don't want to say a win loss record is going to set us apart by being what was successful and what wasn't. But
Right.
there is some merit to that. But at the same time, it's going out there and buckling up and going to kick somebody's ass. Honestly,
There you
so
go. There you go. So I know you had some time to look at the schedule that you have in front of
mhm.
you for this year. Is there any particular games or game that you are most excited, most looking forward to competing in?
Yeah. There's a couple. The football fan in me is
Uh-huh.
week 1 against the Dell State with Coach Deshaun Jackson being there.
Yes, yes,
Um,
yes.
I'm a Giants fan, and
Uh-huh.
he
Wait, how
tore
did
us
that
up.
happen? How did
I
that
don't
happen?
I don't know, man. My dad's a Ravens fan. I have no idea. I just from when I was little, I was always a Giants fan. Um, but
Uh-huh.
Deshaun Jackson tore us up, man. So I'm trying to get my payback. But no, it's always fun playing them, being like the Route One rivalry is what they call it, and it's the only in-state schools that are in Delaware, and that's always a fun game to be a part of. And then honestly, the next one's probably week 2 against Colorado because it's
Okay.
between them and Wake Forest are the two biggest teams on our schedule, and I'm interested to see like, well, let's go see how good we are. Those are
Right.
the best teams on our conference. Or on our schedule. Let's go compete. Let's go see where we stack up against them.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah,
Is that one going to be there in Colorado itself, or is it where's that game scheduled to be?
that game is in Boulder. Yep, in Colorado.
Okay. Okay. So and I don't know how much of an effect this makes on you, but you kind of have to take into thought of like just playing in that area itself, right? Like I would think that with the air being a little bit different, that could probably take a part in everything.
Yeah, there's definitely something to that. We have people that kind of look into that and they kind of give us, hey, this is what we're going to do. This is the smartest thing that we should work on or use. And
Right.
that's kind of out of our element as coaches, but it's definitely something
Yeah.
that's talked about and researched and stuff like that.
Huh. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So
Yeah.
a little bit of advice I want you to give to somebody, and I just kind of want to think this is going to be a two-part for you, right?
Okay.
For the person that's expiring or wanting to be a coach, a college coach at some point, what kind of advice would you give him? And then my next question will be for the person that's getting ready to start their first year as, for instance, a football player, right? In college. What advice would you give that person as well?
Yeah, so the first part of that question, somebody trying to get into the, college football ranking, coaches industry, that my thing would be you know, get out of your comfort zone. Go reach
Mhm.
out to people. Trust your gut, but go do something that you're uncomfortable doing. Whether that's showing up and talking to somebody, picking up the phone, calling somebody to ask them to call somebody else. I was very lucky about getting into this spot that I'm in. Bumping into Jared and everything, but um, when like I said earlier, Coach Rocco, with the original staff that I got hired on with, was let go. I was actually let go with that staff, and
Hmm.
one day it was the day Coach Carty got hired on. Um, I saw him in the parking lot, and I was like, "Well, screw it, here we go." So I walked up to him and I was like, "Hey, Coach, I'm Tyler. This is what I did for the team. Looking to see if you needed somebody in that position." He gave me his number. And then about a week later, he gave me a call and was like, "Hey, why don't you come on in? I'll keep you around." And it all worked out. By a little bit of luck helps too,
Right, right.
but it's
So
definitely
I like that. I like that fact that, number one, you didn't sit there and wait for that opportunity to drop into your lap, right? Um, I try to tell people this quite often, man. If you want something, you kind of got to go get out there and go get it, right?
for
You
sure.
can't expect for the opportunity to just drop in your lap without any, without disrupting it a little bit. You got to get out there and let yourself be known a little bit, or approach the person that you need to approach. So here goes a crazy story, right? Long time ago, I was working at a gym called Gold's Gym. It was actually in Delaware, and in the Wilmington, Delaware area, more closer to like Newark, right? And when I was there, a wrestler by the name of John Cena walked in there, right? And I looked at him and
Yeah,
I was like, you know what? People bother him all the time, right? So I'm not even going to bother him. And I talked to him for a second. He gave me his phone so that he put it behind the front desk so he didn't, bother or anything like that. And he worked out, did his thing, boom, boom, moved on, right? And from that day, when he left, I was kicking myself in the butt because I didn't say anything. At least something like, hey, I make beats, or hey, like, what I mean, something, right? I,
for
I was so
sure.
upset that
Yeah,
I didn't do that. So fast forward, and we'll keep it in like the wrestling field, right? So fast forward, I end up bumping into a person by the name of Prince Nana, who's currently in AEW, and I didn't sit there and not say anything. I approached him, right?
yeah,
So I made sure I introduced who I am, and we're cool to this day, right? That's the approach that you have to have. Sitting back, not saying nothing. Like they say, what's the phrase? Closed mouths don't get fed, right? You have to go out there
100%.
and get it done. You know what I mean? So just
Yeah,
that one little instance of me not saying anything to John Cena, who knows where I would be right now, right? I'm not gonna say I wasn't thinking about being a wrestler, but we could have did something, right? So
yeah,
but because I kept my mouth shut, the opportunity left me, and I learned from that incident and moved on from there. You know what I'm saying? So kudos to you for seeing that coach out there, and you're like, you know what? Let me go up and say something to him real quick, and look where you're at now, right?
yeah, man. I mean that's it. I mean, go be outside of your comfort zone. Go say
Exactly.
what's up. Go do something different. Like you said, it's not gonna fall in your lap, man. You got to go get it. By any means necessary. Sometimes.
Hmm. So then we move on to the advice. The new football player, he gets there. What is your advice for that person there?
Yeah. The first one would be set an alarm clock because you got to get your butt out of bed, man. um,
I
but
know a couple
no,
people that wouldn't work. You'd be kicking them out the first week.
yeah. Um, but no, the real one would be go to those older guys who are in your position group. Maybe it's a sophomore, maybe it's a junior. Some of the senior guys when you walk into a new team, it might be a little uncomfortable for you to go say something to them because maybe that guy's an All American, maybe he's a 3-year starter, and it's like, well, let's figure this thing out. go make friends with those guys and go ask them, hey, what's the best way to operate this situation? What's the best way to operate, for meetings? What should I bring? Or should practice before practice? What's the best way to go? Because obviously, like in our field, we're going to give them all this information in a team setting, in a position group setting, and some of that stuff might just go right over their head, or it might just be like, all right,
Right.
coach is saying this, but okay. But when you sit down with somebody who's actually in the thick of it with you, or is going through that same situation, who's done it at a high level, they'll help you out, and they're going to listen to those guys sometimes more than they listen to coach. So that would be my thing, man.
Right.
Is go and rely on the guys, the older guys. Those are important, and make sure you wake up on time.
I like it. I like it. So, so my next question, and I always pull this for the last couple of interviews I've been doing this, pulling out of left field. I'm gonna ask you a question. Obviously, I'm a DJ. I deal with music, so I have to ask you this question.
Yeah,
Right? Who is first thing that comes to mind? Who is your favorite hip hop artist?
yeah. I'm a Lil Wayne guy through and through. Always been, always have been, always will be. That's my
Okay.
guy. Lil Wayne's my
Okay.
guy.
Okay. Okay. I like it. I like it. So, so do you like? Are you like the old school Lil Wayne, like back when he's with Cash Money Lil Wayne, or are you like the newer Lil Wayne in a sense?
Yeah, I mean, I bounce back and forth. The
Okay.
Carter Three is probably one of my favorites.
Oh yes. Yeah.
A
Yep.
lot of
Yep.
his, a lot of his older stuff I think is better than the newer stuff.
Uh-huh.
Um, but he every now and then he'll drop something that's pretty good, man. So, I mean, I'm a diehard Lil Wayne fan. I love him. I love him to
There
death.
you
I
go.
love all his music. It's good stuff, man.
So speaking of music, right? Music can affect your mood quite often. Um, I say you're working out in the gym, right? And
Hmm.
we're getting ready to hit a new PR.
Yeah,
What's the song that you're about to go to? What song? Any genre. Doesn't have to be hip hop. It could be any genre. Whatever. If it's a slow classical music, that might do it for you. Whatever, right? I don't know.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, what is the song that's like? Okay, I need to put this on my headphones real quick, or hey, let's play this out loud while I'm doing this reps. Like, what's that song that gets you motivated and gets you going?
Yeah, the one when you asked me that, the one thing that comes to mind is like squat days coming around the corner. Here we go. It's time to go to work. I put on Fireman by Lil Wayne. That's my go-to
Fireman.
song. Fireman by Lil Wayne. I don't know why,
Yeah.
but when that goes on and the beat drops, I'm like, all right, it's time to go to work. Here we go.
Yeah.
And we're gonna go get the squat.
Yeah, I can see that. You see now, you know what? Now when I go to squat, I'm going to squat on Sunday. And when I stop there, I think I'm about to throw that thing on real quick to see how I
Throw
work
it
out.
on, man.
I
Get
like
an
it.
extra rep or two in there.
Get a couple in there. Hey, I like it. I like it. So one thing for sure, I'm gonna let you know this. I don't know if the tickets are sold out, but that first game seems like a really big game, especially for Delaware. I need to be in the house. If I'm not going to be in the house, I need to watch it. I need something because I feel like that's going to be a huge game, and it's going to be that chance for you guys to kind of show that you deserve to be where you're at, right?
For sure.
Um, so I'm definitely going to tell you good luck. I'm going to be rooting for you guys, right?
Yeah,
If I'm near or if I'm
appreciate
not
it,
there,
man.
whatever, I might just stand outside the stadium and start yelling. Hopefully you can hear me.
Well,
But let's
hey,
get this thing
I tell
going.
you what. If you want to come, man, you got my number. Hit me up. I got a ticket for you. So you let me
Enough
know.
said. Enough said. I'll be there. Enough said.
That's awesome.
Hey, I
Yeah, I
want to
appreciate
thank
it,
you,
man.
man. I definitely want to thank you for coming on this show. I'll definitely have to get you back on here again because we're catching you in the beginning of the season. I'm not going to catch you in the middle because you're going to have a lot going on, but I'm definitely need to catch you near the end of the season just to kind of
Yeah,
recap how the season went for you
would
and,
love
and
to
what you
do
might
that,
have
man.
learned. Yes, sir.
For
Yes,
sure.
sir. So, of course, we have my guest, Tyler Ferguson, in the building. I'm DJ Killer Noise. Of course, you're locked into Kicking It with Killa. And remember, doesn't matter what season you're in, whether it's the fallback, the get back, or the comeback. Remember, you are important. You have purpose. So get up out there and get it. Of course, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Hit that button down below. And I'm going to catch y'all next time.